Tonight, inside the Hallowed chambers, Nigeria's National Assembly enters one of its most heated weeks yet. From fiery speeches in the Senate to explosive confrontations in the House of Representatives, the nation's security crisis takes center stage, and the lawmakers are no longer whispering. They are shouting. Good evening and welcome to the Hallowed Chambers, the program that goes beyond the speeches, beyond the motions, and deep into the heartbeat of Nigeria's parliament. Tonight, we'll track the dramatic escalation of security debates in both chambers, a week that saw tempers flare, bold accusations fly, and radical proposals emerge. The week began in the Red Chamber, where senators from all geopolitical zones took turns painting an increasingly bleak picture of Nigeria's security landscape. From rising kidnappings to expanding bandit networks, senators warned that the country is sliding into a dangerous new phase of violence. One senator described the situation as undeclared war. Another called for sweeping military restructuring and state-level security autonomy. And then came the moment that shifted the tone entirely. A motion was tabled urging the president to declare a nationwide security emergency. Not symbolic, not rhetorical, a real practical overhaul of security operations across Nigeria.
This mass displacement, prolonged school closures, collapse of rural livelihoods, and long-time psychological trauma among children and vulnerable populations.
We should deploy technology and have our men trained, because the military is doing its best. We know they are doing their best, but we need to come together and help them. So every state should be able to secure its own area.
A call for the National Assembly to shut itself down because of this insecurity situation is a call for abdication of our constitutional roles. We're part of this government, and we did not start this problem.
Majority of our policemen are attached to VIPs, thereby depriving the Nigerian police of performing their main role of policing the country.
If I'm the commander-in-chief, I will call the army commander in that place and the head of the army and say, if you don't get me the head of this person, who withdrew the troops to put all these children in jeopardy, then you make an example of him. That is how a country is run.
Over to the House of Representatives, some members demanded sweeping reforms. Others accused key institutions of incompetence. And then an unusual proposal emerged. One lawmaker stunned the chamber by suggesting a temporary shutdown of the National Assembly until security agencies delivered tangible action on Nigeria's worsening insecurity. The chamber erupted. Some hailed it as courageous. Others dismissed it as reckless. But one thing was clear. The House had reached a boiling point.
As we are approaching 2027, Mr. Speaker, we will all be expected to have a peaceful conduct of our polls. How do you have that if our communities, local communities, are plunged into crisis, into banditry, into kidnappings in the churches, in the mosque, even down in the oil-producing area, which is our economic live wire? Production of oil, crude oil, is being unfortunately undermined by militia groups. Mr. Speaker, we can even declare legislative emergency. Close the House, shut it up. Who are you legislating for? What laws are you making when the country is running in blood? The country is running in blood and tears. You cannot go, the farmers cannot go to farm. Our traders cannot go to market. Worshippers cannot go to mosque, cannot go to churches. Then what are you legislating here?
We'll take a quick break, and when we return, Honorable Alhassan Ado Doguwa from Kano State will join me in the studio to explain his controversial call for the National Assembly to be shut down. Thank you for staying with the Hallowed Chambers. And my guest today is a member of the House of Representatives. His name is Honorable Ado Doguwa, and he is the chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Upstream. He's live here with us in our studio.
Fine, thank you.
All right, let's go straight into the issue, which is we saw a recent video of you on the floor of plenary where you called for the shutting down of the National Assembly because of government being unable to respond decisively to security challenges. Now, I would like to ask, isn't that an admittance of the National Assembly being unable to carry out its core function of oversight?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على نبيه الكريم. Now, I think one important thing that you guys must understand, and I would like Nigerians to also understand, is the fact that when you are operating in a representative capacity under a democratic system, when you are out to speak, you are not speaking just your mind, you are speaking the mind of the people you represent. That should be your statutory responsibility and duty as a member of the parliament. So when I said, let's shut down the National Assembly, my sister and respected members of the public, I meant what I said from every sense of it. Shut down the National Assembly. Because you are now operating under an institution that is, to my belief and my understanding, is being unnecessarily undermined.
But isn't the National Assembly the voice of the people? If you shut down a critical sector of government, how do you now explain the functionality of the legislature?
My view about that, my sister, was the fact that the National Assembly as it is today is as good as a shut down institution. Because when resolutions are not carried out, orders of the National Assembly, sometimes not even motions, sometimes even our legislations, the appropriation, for instance, is a legislation, and the executive arm of government is bound to abide by that legislation. When all of these things are not being respected or undermined, then it's as good you are not doing anything. So I said shut down in every sense of the word of shutting down. And this is not an unprecedented situation. It's a situation that can be contemplated even at the developed democracies that we are even copying from. Shut down because when motions are not respected, the views of the people are not respected, laws that are made in the system are also not being implemented, then definitely the system is as good as a shut down system. Then we shut down, and you can have different approaches of shutting down. I don't mean probably shut down holistically the whole of the National Assembly. The administrative aspect of it could continue. Probably some other parliamentary businesses can continue. But legislative duties, which are our core functions, receiving communications from Mr. President, receiving requests for loans approvals, and all of such things, we shut them down. We don't hold plenaries. Stop it, because such things that we do on behalf of our people are not in any way being respected. Like I said, right from up initial, when I stood up to speak, I made my identity clear. And I have no regret whatsoever that I still identify with the ruling APC. But the situation or the fact is that you must be true to yourself. I was only being true to myself. The situation is so pathetic in our local areas. When we are approaching elections, I will be speaking for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in my constituency. I want to say without any sense of pride or overstatement that in the whole of my state, Kano, with 44 local governments, Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the last election won only in 3 local governments. Only in 3 local governments. Bola Ahmed Tinubu won only in 3 local governments. All other 41 local governments were swept by the NNPP contender, my brother and a friend, Rabi Musa Konkoso. He won every other thing. Those 3 local governments included my 2 local governments. The records are there in INEC. So we are now approaching elections. I will be Mr. President's ambassador at the polls. Mr. President cannot be all over. He cannot be everywhere. So we are now trying to call a spade to tell Mr. President and the government of the day that it is very, very severe with our people. We are approaching elections. Let's make some amends. Let's make sure that the president knows what is happening so that when the election comes around, we will have that convenience, that comfort of mind to talk to our people and let them vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the ruling APC once again.
Honorable, the public outcry here is that they are holding the APC responsible for this security crisis that we find ourselves. Although the APC said this is a problem that it met, it is not instituted under the government of the APC. But if we cast our mind back, you were also part of government in the 9th Assembly. And we know that this security challenge escalated under the Buhari administration. Now, shouldn't we also hold you responsible for not speaking out during that time when the security crisis escalated?
It means you have not been following of the developments in the National Assembly. I have always been a consistent representative of my people. And I have special concern with passion about the issue of security of lives and property of Nigerian people, the security and the safety of Nigeria as a country, as a sovereign country.
So why didn't you call for the shutting down of the National Assembly as at that time?
I did the same. I have the clip if you want to look at it. I did the same when Buhari was in power and there was a serious and massive abduction of our people in Giwa local government in Kaduna State. If you want, I have the clip here. I will give you. I got up on the floor with Femi Bajabiamila as my speaker, and in that circumstances, I was even the ambassador of the government of Buhari on the floor of the house. I was the leader of the house. Majority leader of a house in a democratic setting is always the ambassador of the government. And even with that position of mine, madam, I spoke vehemently against the negligence of our people's security of lives and property. I have the clip. Let's legislate on the floor of the house to allow Nigerians to have access to legitimate weapons, to defend and protect themselves, defend their innocent selves. Like I said on the floor, ask Femi Bajabiamila with due respect, who is the chief of staff today of the government, my good friend and my boss in the 9th Assembly. I have said so, and I have been so consistent about that. When you talk of holding us responsible, the responsibility of a member of the House by statutory capacity is simply to speak out. When you speak out and do your representative duty, you also legislate, you make motions and come up with resolutions of the House itself. You are done. We don't have the instrumentality of enforcing our legislations and our resolutions. It is the government that has to do that. I am not being unnecessarily critical to the government. I am only trying to make sure that when we approach our people, we will be ready to answer whatever questions these people are likely to raise.
So, Honorable, are you passing a vote of no confidence on the current administration in responding to security challenges?
It's not about vote of no confidence. What I'm saying, I even said it on the floor, clearly, and I want you to quote me. And I have no reason whatsoever to retract any of my statement on the floor of the House. I am proud of what I said because I was speaking for the people of Nigeria, and most especially the people of northern Nigeria, where I come from. I did not call for passing a vote of no confidence on Mr. President. The president today is a president under the platform of my great party, the APC, the party that I have labored for. And I'm still a proud member of that party, a loyal member of that party. Like I said, the very good efforts of Mr. President, the very good efforts of our security agencies, no matter what they are doing, by my judgment and the judgment of Nigerians today, is like there is more to be desired. It's not yet Uhuru. I cannot just undermine Mr. President's commitment. Do you think a head of a family will be glad to see his family wretched the way Nigerian society is going on? I assume Mr. President is like a head of the family. And when something is going wrong in the family, he is the one that is most hit. He is concerned. He is worried. He is disturbed. He is equally devastated. But what I'm saying is that Mr. President's very good effort, the security agents' good efforts are not good enough to contain the situation. After the declaration of the emergency, only yesterday, these people were able to penetrate Kano through Katsina, abducted about 10 or 15 women with young kids underage. 40, just only yesterday, day before yesterday, 48 hours today. So look at what has happened in Niger when others are still in captivity. And that one very sensitive because they picked them where at a place of service, worship, Christians. And look at how the global community is looking at Nigeria in the light of this insecurity. Some people trying to misplace the issue, trying to put the whole matter in wrong light. So even with the sensitivity of what happened in Niger in a Catholic church, only yesterday these people went back and met other women on farm and picked them away. So you can see that even when the government is trying, even when the security agencies, of course, with due respect to each and every one personnel of Nigerian security, especially the armed forces and the police, I was only saying it is not yet Uhuru. How would you expect to end insurgency when government itself, when it gets to restore or to rescue victims, they will end up negotiating and giving stupendous amount of money
but if
to
you say
bandits
that,
only to take them after payment
the
of
government
ransom.
of the day is negotiating. Who is the negotiator in this crisis that we find ourselves? Because if you look at it, this problem actually is largely manifested in northern Nigeria, and we largely see, the political elites or leaders in the north silent or playing politics with it. And we know even Sheikh Gumi is one of the negotiators with these bandits. He's from the north. So how do you now share the blame between government and also northern elites?
My sister, northern elites, especially our traditional institutions, northern elites, with regards to our clerics, the ulamas, they have a limit to what they can do. I, for one, had never in any circumstances adhered or agreed with the approach of negotiation. Even when Gumi was doing it, that was his own personal understanding of resolving the issue. But I can tell you for free that I have never subscribed to the issue of negotiating with bandits, insurgents, to restore abducted, innocent Nigerians. Because you will end up simply empowering them. These are people you want to eliminate. And you are making this their dastardly actions. You are making it lucrative. You are giving them money. You are empowering them. And by doing that, they get more weapons and to continue to fight. It's completely a baseless approach. And government must be ready to face this challenge squarely and stop the issue of payment of ransom and negotiation with the bandit for us to restore our petted ones. The fact remains, my dear sister, security issues in Nigeria, given the circumstances we found ourselves. Even in those days when Buhari was in power, I remember late Buhari did not subscribe to the issue of payment of ransom. He called openly Nigerians, don't pay ransom. Part of the reasons why he was necessitated to run a cashless society policy in Nigeria was to withdraw and mop out cash in circulation, so that this issue of payment of ransom in cash can be checked. This was part of his strategy. And he had that military experience and military background and strategy. The reason why, madam, we have to be careful about these security situations is not about the north. It's not about the south. It's not about what our elites do about it. It is about the history of the crisis itself. Politically, for instance, I want to tell you, politically, madam, the APC, which is the ruling government today, precisely anchored on the issue of corruption and insecurity in 2019. These were the two major tools we used, along with our elder statement, with due respect to Mr. President. He was part of this struggle. We anchored our campaign on insecurity, corruption in the country, and these were our instruments of success.
All right.
So if care is not taken, it's like we will end up dying by the weapon. We fought others.
All right.
That is my fear.
Honorable,
we have used that weapon successfully, and we are now victorious at the helm of affairs. If you don't take care, then the same weapon can be used against you, and they will succeed against you.
We hear you, Honorable, and we feel your pulse, but let's take this quick short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll still have more for you on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I right to request the kind approval of the National Assembly.
Behind every decision, every vote,
The ayes have it.
and every heated debate lies the heartbeat of democracy.
This matter is very, very important.
I therefore rule you out of order.
Welcome to the place where it all unfolds. Every week, I take you inside the inner workings of the assembly, where laws are shaped, decisions are made, and the future of the nation is decided.
The eyes have it.
Join me, Tijesu Adeoye, and other seasoned experts, analysts, and lawmakers at the National Assembly as they uncover the real stories behind the headlines and offer unfiltered insight on the most pressing issues of the day. This is your front row seat to the heart of power. Watch the Hallowed Chambers every Saturday at 9 p.m. only on TVC News. We're glad to have you back. You're still watching the Hallowed Chambers, and we're still speaking with the Honorable Member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Ado Doguwa. Now, you're calling for the National Assembly to shut down to respond to the issue of insecurity. Aside this option being taken, because a lot of your colleagues are kicking against it, they say you are part of government and they need the National Assembly to function in order to respond to these challenges. What other aspect, if you're given 48 hours, your unilateral power of 48 hours to respond to this challenge, how would you respond to it?
I'm sorry, madam. It's like you are taking it too special.
I'm not taking it special.
Too special that shutting down the National Assembly as a system a new thing. Do you remember only last month, just last month in the past 4 weeks, 5 weeks, the Speaker of the House of Representatives that was presided by the Deputy Speaker, same Deputy Speaker who opposed to it on that day. I know he has his wisdom, he has his reasons, but shutting down National Assembly or the House of Representatives is not a strange step. It's not a strange approach, because only last month, that same National Assembly, the House of Representatives, was shut down for like 5 working days to ensure payment of contractors. Contractors of Nigerian origin came and protested that they have concluded their jobs, projects, but till today, government did not pay them 2024 projects. And part of 2024, 2025 also are yet to be implemented. For just that singular reason, madam, we shut the House for 5 consecutive legislative days. So if you can have the audacity, madam, to shut down a system like that important institution in the interest of business people, in the interest of people who have commercial interest or commitment, then what more of an interest of the larger society of Nigerians whose life and properties are at serious danger today? You cannot wake up and expect what will happen to you in the next 1 hour. The situation in Nigeria, madam, take it or not, is quite unpredictable. And we don't want to continue to be facing our communities in our localities asking us uncomfortable questions, questions that we cannot straight ahead answer. Like I said, the non-kinetic approach of going to negotiate is zero. Stop it. Madam, the step Mr. President has now taken very boldly to the pace of Nigerians, responding so promptly and swiftly to the plight of the victims of this insurgency, is one thing that I cannot mince word to say is commendable. And that shows that Mr. President listens. And those of us in the institution of the legislatures, where budgets and finances are provided, we give Mr. President the maximum support and cooperation to ensure that he gets the wherewithal to finance the emergency he has declared in the security sector. Take, for instance, madam, he has outrightly ordered, by way of presidential marching order, that the army should now go ahead to recruit approximately 50 more personnel. The police should go ahead and enroll or recruit approximately 50 more personnel running across the ranks and files. All other related security agencies have been ordered alike. I think it's only custom, which I believe out of emotions, Mr. President was so worried, he forgot to include custom. All of these relevant security agencies have been ordered outrightly that in the next 30 days, they should go ahead with these recruitment exercises to continue to contain this, which means by implication of Mr. President's passionate action, you are mopping out approximately over 500 Nigerians who used to be on the street, wrongly or rightly. Some of these people you will know may even be part of these bandits. They will come now and pick government jobs, gainful government jobs, and now turn around to defend the integrity, to defend the welfare and well-being of our people.
Well, isn't that a problem if we mop up bandits to be part of the force? Aren't we creating a bigger problem?
My sister, some of these bandits are doing it out of no option. I'm telling you, no, some of them, I can't say all, but some of them actually are doing it out of no option, with an option given by the government. Remember the issue of the Niger Delta amnesty. Was it not the same? People suspected that it was not going to work. But for me, the Umaru Musa amnesty approach in the Niger Delta during that crisis worked to a greater extent. And I want to believe that I am confident this time around the approach of Mr. President to mop up youth, useful Nigerian youth on the street and get gainful employment in the security sector will go a long way in solving this problem.
All right, very quickly.
Next again, madam.
Very quickly, because we've run out of time.
You said options.
All right.
With the orders he has given, we must also strengthen our oversight instrumentality. We must strengthen. I am not exonerating ourselves. We are a component of the government. We will strengthen our oversight instrumentality to ensure whatever order Mr. President is giving, that order is being implemented to the latter. We will do that without hindrance or without let or hindrance. Time frame. Mr. President also must be prepared to give some of these agencies of government, especially the security agencies, time frame within which to implement these orders.
All right.
Like I said, finances, we will provide that. As soon as Mr. President brings any financial request in the interest of Nigeria's security, we will definitely approve that without any hesitation.
All right. Thank you so much for your time with us. That's where we'll leave our conversation this morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be with you, and I'm glad to have my views across to the public domain.
That's our program for today. We're glad you could be a part of it. You can watch this episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. And don't forget to follow TVC News on all our social media platforms. Thank you for watching. I am Tijesu Adeoye. See you next time.